So this week, instead of our normal silly opening, I really thought we should. This is episode 22, and I thought we should take the time to thank everyone that's been listening to this podcast for 22 episodes. Special thanks to certain people. Keep their last names out. Mike, Lauren, who listens all the time and likes all of our posts. Felicia, Steven, who listens to us all the time, and Reno, who's probably one of our biggest fans, who every week asks me where our episode is. I would love to sit here and talk about how important you guys are to us, but it's time for the enthusiasts.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Not bad. Not bad.
What is up, everybody? This is Will Zabo alongside the most gorgeous man alive. So gorgeous he had to settle for perfection. Jesse Nazario.
How's it going, buddy?
Hey, how's it going? This is episode 22 of The Enthusiast.
It is, man. It's the 22nd. We're still in our party years.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But our parents are getting on us about setting up for a future.
Moving out.
Moving out. So how's your week been? Everything good?
Moving still.
Yeah, I don't like it's boring. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it either. Played some Outlast.
Ooh, how was that?
Horrifying.
I saw that you put it up on the channel. Heard the first 45 minutes of is it playing? Is it working? That was nice.
Yeah.
But not really that into it. You can't fight back, huh?
No, it's all just running
I
away.
don't know if I could play that.
I like it only for the fact that it just adds that suspense and you're just running. But I do understand, like, it can, to some people, that can probably be boring. So I've been playing that. Played Dragon Quest Heroes for a little bit.
Ooh, I did see that on the last episode. It looks really good, really pretty.
Yeah, that's on the PS4. I have no idea if
Yeah, you think it's going to look like that for the Switch?
probably
It
not.
looks good, though. It does look really good on PS4.
Yeah. And then now I've been playing Witcher again. I really got back into that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I've been after
That's
seeing
what I
your
did.
screenshots all the time. I was like, man, I kind of want to get back into this game, and I just did
That's what I
it.
did for you.
What about you? What have you been playing?
Doja got for the anniversary. My wife got me Metal Gear 5 again, the Affinity Edition. So I was like, it's probably going to take me forever to beat this. It took me forever to beat the first time. Less than a week. Finished both parts, Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain. But it was really good. Really good. I enjoyed it the second time around just as well. It was really fun. And then Mario Kart came out.
Yes.
So
That just came out.
it literally came out yesterday.
Yeah. So how you liking it?
At first, I was really annoyed with it. I thought it played really stiff, and the Wii U version played a lot better. And I mentioned it online, because it's what everybody does with their grievances now. It goes online. Can you imagine if Phantom Menace was released during the age of online? Oh man, the movie would have been torn apart.
Then we probably wouldn't have gotten a Clone Wars.
No.
All right, we're gonna end the cool.
Don't know. But so I went online to air my grievances, and one of my buddies came on and was like, pretty sure you have corrective lane on, where it automatically keeps you on the lane no matter what. And I'm pretty sure you have that on. So once I turned that off, I was like, oh, this game plays beautifully. It's great. So for anybody getting it, make sure you go right away into your settings, and you have to turn all that extra stuff off, or it treats you like your 3-year-old kid.
That sounds horrible.
It is. But once you turn it off, it plays so much better.
That's good. I don't understand why it wouldn't start off and maybe be a pop-up. It's like, hey, we noticed you're having a hard time staying on the course.
To me, it was a slap in the face, because many times, as we always defend, is that even though Nintendo's for the family, it still understands you have your hardcore Nintendo fans. To me, this was a slap saying, who cares the 30-year-olds that play Nintendo games? We think only 5-year-olds play. Here you go.
Yeah.
That's how it started off to me. But after that, the game was really good. What I must say is amazing is I tried battle mode out with a couple friends yesterday. Worth it for every penny of buying this game again was right there for battle mode. It was amazing.
Huh. Okay. That's awesome.
That's when you battle each other.
Yeah,
It's
I remember it from Double Dash.
Double Dash was so good. That was my favorite one.
Double Dash is still my favorite.
Ooh, that's my favorite.
And then Mario Kart 8 is probably number 2 for me. Because I really like it, but I do feel like there are things lacking that Double Dash had.
You're lacking.
I know.
Cracker lacking.
I try. So I guess now we can get into
The news.
So Guardians of the Galaxy 2 reviews have been not as great as we were hoping.
Yes.
So my question is, do you think critics are being too harsh? Or does Marvel need to change their formula? Do you think like the problem is too many Marvel movies are very similar and you can just kind of interchange the characters?
I'm going to quote one of the gentlemen I like. I trust his reviews well. I'm probably shamelessly plugging him in right now, and I don't mean to.
Go ahead.
You know what I mean? But Jeremy Johns, I follow his reviews. I always really like his reviews. So for Batman v Superman, I was bad at him for a week. But anyway, he wanted to like it, and you could tell during the whole review that he was so disappointed by it. But he kept saying that it felt too convoluted. There was too many characters added in. He said it felt like there were storylines that went nowhere, and he was like, the humor just wasn't there. So I feel like every superhero movie they tried or every sequel, if it worked for the first one, let's just up and do it more. I feel like that's where I fell off. But I don't know. I'm gonna give it a chance, of course. I'm still excited to see it, but I'm a little disappointed, of course, to hear that it's nowhere near as great as the first one. And he did not give it a good review at all. Like normally he'll give it, if it's just mediocre, say good time, no alcohol required. This one he said you need to be drunk to enjoy this.
Really?
Yeah, which is one of his lowest scores.
That sounds harsh. Yeah, most of the scores I've seen are around 7s, which isn't bad. 7 is good, but it's also not what the first one was. You know what I mean?
And it's a shame because what I also read, and this one not just his review, a lot of them, because they introduced all these new Guardians into it, a lot of the ones you liked in the first one kind of get pushed to the foreground and background. And one of the ones I heard really get big chunks missing from his character now is Drax, which is a shame because I loved Drax in the first one. He was probably my favorite Guardian, So.
Yeah, that is upsetting. I'm curious if now we haven't seen the movie yet, obviously, and maybe by next week, hopefully, we'll both have seen it and we can talk about it.
Comes out Friday.
Yeah. But I'm curious if the problem was that they put too much in for the sake of for Avengers.
From what I heard, though, and once again, this is all speculation, it still feels detached from the Marvel movies.
Really?
That's what I liked about the first one. It felt
Me
very
too.
detached.
Okay.
So, we'll have to see. But then again, like I said, sometimes detached works because one of the reasons I like Doctor Strange. Granted, it had a cameo from Thor, spoiler, but it felt detached as a Marvel movie.
I can agree with that. Well, sticking with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Kevin Feige said that after Avengers 4, it's going to be very different. They said that they have an idea of where they're going to go with Marvel, but it's going to be very, very different from what we're used to now. So, what would we like to see from Marvel after Avengers 4?
I was actually thinking about this the other day, and I'm gonna name drop DC. Big shock! Oh, the reviewers are like, what? He's gonna compare it to DC? What I would like to see, and I feel like DC movies handle this, is certain story arcs that Marvel has always kind of glazed over. Like a lot of people got mad at Batman v Superman, where Bruce Wayne was a little more, murder hungry, where he didn't care about human life. But that was an arc from the story in the comics. Granted, they didn't do a good job explaining it, but after Jason Todd died, Batman kind of stopped caring about, protecting human life as much. And I want to see that in the Marvel movies. Like, I want to see Robert Downey Jr. play Tony Stark's with his alcohol, abuse, or, the Avengers turn on Hulk because they can't trust him because he did this, you know what I mean? I want to see them story arcs that aren't so safe, that, might make this a decent movie. It's what we both liked about Logan. It felt like a movie that just so happened to be based off a superhero, and I want to start seeing that for Marvel more.
I can agree with that. I was thinking about it recently, and I think Marvel, they do take risks, but I don't think they take the risks when it comes to story. They take it with characters. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, if you would have told me when I was a kid that Guardians of the Galaxy would have gotten a movie, I would have been like, never.
I guess, but even so, I feel like as much as I love Guardians, it was still a safe movie. Like, for an example, everybody lost their mind when we thought Groot died, and not even before the end of the film, he's back in baby
Well,
form.
that's what I mean. I don't mean the movie itself. I just mean the characters. Like, Guardians aren't big in the Marvel comic book universe. Like,
Yeah.
even a lot of Marvel fans didn't even know about Guardians until the movie. And the same thing with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange just isn't very... He's big in Marvel.
But
Like, he's one of the few characters that actually are big, but not a lot of people seem to like him.
No, yeah. So you can say the same thing about Ant-Man. But I'm just saying, they gleamed or skipped over some, like, intense storylines I would love to see. One of them, and I was just reading about this the other day, anybody that's a comic fan knows there was a story arc where Scarlet Witch and her brother, Quicksilver, kind of got a little too close, you know what I'm saying? Sibling love. And, of course, Marvel was afraid to do that, but the actors that played them had read the comics and knew that, so they kind of on their own were always touching each other and close to each other, and were kind of like awkwardly too close. But that was the actors taking that risk. Like, I would love for Marvel to actually be like,
be willing to do it.
Something that's not a safe thing for a movie, a taboo, where, you know what I mean, it'll get you talking. That's an interesting story arc.
Yeah.
And I feel like Marvel, even though their comics are not as dark as DC, there is a bunch of story arcs they could pull from, that are dark enough.
Yeah.
And I always feel like I always watch a trailer for Marvel movies, and I'm like, oh man, this trailer looks so dark. And then I go in, and it's the same Marvel movie.
Same upbeat.
Upbeat, jokes constantly. Like, Age of Ultron, I was so excited for that film because that trailer was so dark and so scary. I got a Disney movie. That was a Disney movie. I was really disappointed with that movie.
There were no strings on Ultron.
And you hired an actor like, what was his name? James, I can't even remember his name now.
It was the guy that played in Dexter, wasn't it?
That was the guy from Stargate.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I know I'm right.
I'm thinking of the wrong guy.
It's all right. James Spade.
There we go.
He was a great job at his voice, but I would love to see the darker aspect of the storyline. You know what I mean?
Well, Marvel does have some dark stories. I mean,
They
look,
do.
Thanos in general is a very dark character, and sometimes when I think about what Marvel can do for this, I'm like, wow, that'd be awesome. But then I'm like, they're probably not going to go that route.
I'm just afraid that with this whole Thanos fight, I want to see them turn to a unsafe place in the comics where, you know what I mean? I don't always have to feel great during a Marvel movie. Sometimes it can give me the feels, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah, you killed Quicksilver off. Wow, that was terrible. You introduced him in that movie. There was no weight to that, you know what I mean? You killed off a character I knew for 2 seconds. Had they killed off Hawkeye in Age of Ultron, that would have made the whole different film.
Which I thought they were going
And that's, where everybody thought they were going. But then they were like, well, no, this is a Marvel movie.
Why would we ever kill Hawkeye?
He sells toys. I'm not doing that.
So, Disney.
What would I like? Go
ahead.
We're not letting you. What would I like to see? I would like to see Marvel take more risk.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see them stop relying on certain characters and start bringing other characters forefront.
Iron
Man. We said a couple podcasts ago we'd like to see some more buddy-up films, but after seeing Doctor Strange, I realized I do like a small spectrum. So if I do see a buddy-up team film, I still want to be on a small scale.
Well, that's why I said just 2. Thor Ragnarok seems pretty cool. That's just going to be like Thor and Hulk.
And that's another thing. Make sure you have it a situation where the other Avengers wouldn't get involved. As much as I love Winter Soldier, there's no reason the other Avengers didn't see that and go, well, we better get here. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. You know what I mean? Rather versus something like Thor Ragnarok, where they're not, of course, it's not, the other Avengers aren't going to be there. It's another planet. Same thing with Doctor Strange. It was all a fight in the Spectrum world. The other Avengers are not know what's going on.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I also wouldn't mind seeing them start replacing characters. There are just some actors that I'm not a big fan of.
Like Dawson, sister.
Not necessarily
I heard
her.
it's a Tiger. I hate her accent. I'm sorry. She does a good job, but
I'm not a big Chris Hemsworth fan.
Really?
Yeah. The Thor movies. While I despise Thor 1, hated that movie.
I think everybody did.
Thor 2 was better, but still wasn't.
That was Dark World with elves.
Yeah, it still wasn't amazing.
The Thor movies, to me, and I always hate to say this because I didn't hate them. I didn't hate one as much as everybody did. I also feel like they were shoehorned in there just to introduce Thor to the Avengers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, to the point where had you not had to introduce them, you would have got to me, it would have been another Hawkeye, where they introduced him in another film, and that's it. That's the only way we're getting Hawkeye.
I wouldn't mind seeing Thor like lose his arm, and then we get female Thor because that's exactly what happened. Well, actually, what happens is Thor, the hammer stops obeying Thor, so Thor can't lift the hammer anymore, and then Thor, there's still trouble. Like, you know, the Avengers are still needed, so Thor still tries to be a hero without his hammer and gets his arm chopped off. So then some woman picks up the hammer and becomes the new Thor.
Yeah,
So I wouldn't mind seeing something like that
no, I don't co-sign with that, buddy.
in a new direction.
Okay. Girl picking up a hammer. That's just kidding. Just kidding.
I was gonna say we
Don't need
lost
them-
everything.
Yeah, don't need them emails. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, I agree with you. That would be, it'd be a risk. That'd be something fun to see that. Yeah, let us move on before I go, because I could talk about Marvel all day. Because I have a love-hate with Marvel. I love to hate them.
Well, we do.
And I hate to love them. You know what I'm saying?
We both do love something. That's Disney. We are
We
both
do.
big Disney fans.
We do, yes.
Disney recently just came out with a lineup of movies and release dates.
Yeah, real quick, man.
Yeah.
It was all over the news too. I couldn't go on Facebook, everything.
Yeah,
I was in the middle of like Sports Network, and they were like, "Breaking news: Disney releases." I was like, "What?"
Yeah. So one of those is Frozen 2, which will be November 27th, 2019.
Did you like Frozen?
Yeah, I did like Frozen. The soundtrack was very catchy, too catchy probably.
I gotta let it go.
Yeah, I know. I
For the
tried.
first time in forever.
Well,
He's a fixer-upper.
can't hold me back anymore. Anyway, so that's gonna be November 27th. Did you like Frozen?
I did not hate Frozen as much as I thought I would. I do think it's hilarious. When I watched it the first time, because my wife loved it, and I watched it with the kids. I turned to her and I was like, it was a fun movie, but if you think about it, it's about a sister teams up with a snowman and a handsome guy to fight a sister, a snowman, and a handsome guy. Like, that's the whole movie. And I was like, really not that complex. What made that movie was its characters. I thought the characters great. Get rid of the stone troll things. It's just unnecessary in that film. You took them out and would make no difference to the story.
Yeah. What about your kids? Do you think they're going to be excited
For Frozen 2, yeah. My daughter was rolling to Frozen for a while. Disney's good about that, man. Disney can... She's already moved on to whatever it is now, Paw Patrol or whatever this week. She likes Trolls, I don't know. Once they start doing Frozen 2 again, she's like, oh, this is my favorite again. Like, so it'll be fun.
Gotcha.
And what I liked about Frozen was I think it didn't feel like a girl movie. You know, my son liked it too, so it's not like there's characters for everybody.
I mean, I liked it a lot too as well. So
There's nothing wrong with that, man.
no, it's okay. I understand.
Weird
Lion King live action.
You don't have kids and you liked it. That's kind of creepy.
I love Disney, and you didn't always have kids either, and I'm sure you love Disney.
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. All right, whatever. Anyway, so Lion King live action.
I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, July 19th. It's close to your son's birthday.
Yes.
Close to my birthday. Possibly close to my son's birthday. We could have a birthday party for Lion King.
Yes, I'm just mostly excited about this. Where we got Donald Glover playing Simba. I'm really excited about that. James Earl Jones reprising his role as Mufasa, which is gonna be awesome.
Oh, that is awesome.
It's directed by Jon Favreau, who I like the majority of his films. I think it's gonna be really good. I'm just super curious on who they're gonna cast as Scar.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons will always be Scar to me. That's the voice I'll always picture. But if you bring him back too, now are you just making the cartoon again? You know what
Just
I mean?
look realistic.
Yeah, so that's my whole thing. You already got James Earl Jones reprising his role, and as much as I would love Jeremy Irons back,
Well, from my understanding, they're looking at Seth Rogen for Pumbaa.
right?
Yeah, that's who they're looking at. I'm excited for it.
Seth
though.
Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
So you're gonna turn to Simba. You're a virgin. Oh, that's terrible. McLovin. Why did you leave us, Simba? We missed you. I'm excited about this film. I didn't get to see Beauty and the Beast, but I did love Jungle Book. I thought the casting was a genius for Jungle Book, and the songs they picked and chose to put in there were insanely thought out. I Want to Be Like You, sung by Christopher Walken. I'm good. I was good for a week. You know what I mean? Somebody could have came up to me in the street and stabbed me, and I would have been like, I want to be just like you. Ooh, ooh. I want to walk like you. It was a really good casting choice. So I'm all for Disney. I feel like Disney doesn't really put out too much garbage.
Yeah, I really like Disney. Pixar to me is the hit or miss one, personally. I don't always like what Pixar does. Granted, what they do well. But I don't know what it is about their movies that I'm kind of like, this one I like, this one I don't. Like, I really like Up. I like WALL-E.
Wow.
I like Monsters University and Monsters Inc. Not a big fan of Toy Story.
Okay.
And
I don't agree with you at all.
that's fine. You don't have to.
No, it's like it's troubling. Like, I love you, man.
Yeah.
I would take a bullet for you. But right now, you're gonna have to give me some time.
I'm sorry.
Somebody was like, I'm gonna shoot you. I'm like, you didn't like Toy Story, bro. Go ahead. Do what you gotta do.
Not a big Finding Nemo fan.
Okay, I'll co-sign with that one.
I wasn't big in The Incredibles either.
Really? It's the best Fantastic Four movie we've ever got.
I'm gonna see Incredibles. I'll agree with that.
It's not your number.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Just give Disney Fantastic Four. They'll do a better job, obviously.
They already did it. Mm-hmm. So moving on, then we have Star Wars Episode 9. May 24th.
Yes.
That's a little weird.
It is.
They keep releasing their movies usually
in December, and it was like we're getting the next Star Wars, and the next Star Wars after that is going to be December again. So I don't know, but I think that's May the 4th be with you. I'm thinking you're going for, but it's May 24th.
Yeah. So here's my one thing that I'm concerned about. I'm curious if they're going the Marvel route, where we get 2 Marvel movies a year. I wonder if now they're pushing this one up so that then in December they have another one.
Could be that, but is that too much?
That's my problem.
Yeah, like I'll tell you this. I usually was good about seeing every Marvel movie in theaters when they were once a year. I've given up. I pick and choose what Marvel movies I'll see.
Yeah.
So, and it's a shame.
But I didn't see Doctor Strange in theaters.
Neither did I.
I wanted to, but I was just kind of like...
With that being said, it's tough because I didn't see Rogue One in theaters, but I'll definitely see a Star Wars sequel. And it depends on what comes out that year, too. If it's a Boba Fett movie, I'm in there. Of course I'm in there. I'm the greatest bounty hunter ever. What did you do? That's him shooting his gun.
Yeah, I got it.
I love Boba Fett.
Boba Fett's my favorite.
I wanted to be him so bad.
Bosca's probably number 2 for me.
I understand.
He's a giant lizard.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
He needs a manicure or a pedicure on his feet, but it's neither here or there.
So the next movie is one that men have used the line for all the time whenever they're going to do the deed in bed. Wreck-It Ralph. I'm gonna wreck it.
I'm gonna wreck it. That's pretty good. Wreck-It Ralph is my favorite cartoon probably ever.
Really?
I'm not. As I got older, I used to wonder. Like, my father was never into cartoons growing up. I always thought my father was so weird. And as I've gotten older, I've kind of started feeling jaded like him, and I'm just not into cartoons like that. I got dragged to see Zootopia, and the fact that I didn't lose my mind, I was like, this isn't a terrible film.
Oh, I love Zootopia.
It wasn't bad. But then there's other movies I've just watched, like Frozen, and I was like, doesn't do anything for me, and the other ones I just had no interest in watching.
Yeah.
But I went and seen Wreck-It Ralph in the drive-in, because we have a drive-in, and anybody listening to this podcast doesn't know what a drive-in is back in the day, you could drive your car into, this big open field and have this huge movie screen, and then you can tune your radio into it and listen to the movie. Where me and my good friend William are from, we still have a drive-in around here, which is rare. I think we're the only one on the East Coast.
And they do a double movie feature.
They do double movie features. So I went there with my wife. She really wanted to see that Christmas Easter movie they did, where all the Rise of the Guardians or something like that. I think it was called.
With like Jack Frost, Easter Bunny, and all that.
So she really wanted to see that, so we went and watched that. And then the second one that came on was Wreck-It Ralph, and I fell asleep during Wreck-It Ralph. But I liked what I had seen of it. My wife said it was only okay. So it took years before I watched it, and then I finally watched it one day, and I was like, are you kidding me? This movie's amazing. I love the video game references. I love the story. There's so many lines from that movie I repeat on a daily basis. It is an amazing movie, and I'm super excited they're making a sequel. Because sometimes I feel like sequels are just money grabs. That one, I'm actually really interested in what else is going on in that world. I love to see that world. I love to see everything about that.
I feel like Wreck-It Ralph, out of all the... Usually, in my opinion, Disney sequels aren't as good as the first one. Frozen, I'm a little worried about what they're going to do with it. I'm pretty sure it's going to turn into, like, Aladdin 2 and stuff like that. Where I really like Aladdin 2.
I bet you did. Well, Robin really enjoyed it.
Anyway, but I feel like Wreck-It Ralph, because it's this video game universe, is the best thing for sequels.
I agree.
Because you literally can do anything and have an explanation.
Exactly. You could do online, like Wreck-It Ralph somehow gets on online gaming. That'd be awesome. You could pull in more video game characters. Sonic made a cameo in the first one. You see Bowser, you know that. I would love to see him go to Sonic's world or Mario's world. There were so many, and I love the video game jokes in there, and I love the chemistry between John C. Reilly and Sarah Silverman. I thought they were incredible together. They were hilarious. I just thought that movie was hilarious, man.
Yeah.
The scene where Fix It Felix, like, she goes, and they're going to eat everything. You think they're going to stop there? And Fix It Felix, like, yes, no. Like, it just, to me, it's an hilarious movie. I'm really excited about Wreck-It Ralph, too. I'm surprised we're actually in a sequel. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised as well.
Where do you think they're going to go with it?
I wouldn't mind them tackling the online gaming, because I do think that that's something, because he's an arcade thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't mind seeing that. Maybe people stop going to the arcades, so his game slowly stops being played, and then he gets put online, so that he's an online game for anyone to play whenever they want in their home instead of...
Or a mobile game?
Ooh. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool, though. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. I do want to see him visit more worlds that we actually know. Because he actually didn't visit any worlds we know.
No.
They were all made-up worlds, and I get it.
And they're all kind of based off of games we did know. It was obvious Wreck-It Ralph was Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Candy Saga, whatever that game was, the racing game, was Mario Kart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
So I get that it probably costs money to get the license to make those worlds. But come on, Disney. You got that money.
Yeah. And to be honest, I was surprised what games co-signed for him to use and other ones. Like, Nintendo was all about it. Sega had no problem. Dr. Wily was originally supposed to be in it, and Capcom didn't co-sign with it.
Really?
But they gave them Street Fighter. So it was, like, super weird. Like, yeah.
Well, that's just Capcom likes to try to make us forget about Mega Man.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Capcom's like, can you guys stop asking for it?
All right.
Please.
All right, we know Mega Man's beloved, okay? We're never giving you Legends 3, so just give up with that. Things don't work out that way.
So, like, you guys like them, but clearly not enough of you like them to buy it.
Okay? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to show you screenshots of what you potentially can get, and then we're taking it away from you, okay? Because that's what you do to us when we release it and you don't buy it.
You keep the screenshots. We'll keep them on the internet so that you can remind yourself of what
you did.
Capcom punishing us. There was a lot of movies announced, though. Not just from Disney, because Marvel and Disney are the same, obviously. But next we had Fox. Fox came out and they announced New Mutants will be in theaters April 13th, 2018. Deadpool 2, June 1st, 2018.
Dark Phoenix.
November 2nd, 2018.
Yes.
That's like 3 movies. We just talked about Marvel alone doing 2 a year.
Yeah.
Fox is doing
3 in 1 year. I can see doing Deadpool and Dark Phoenix. I'm surprised you're taking a risk with that and doing New Mutants. Here's why I'm surprised you're doing a risk with New Mutants. If that doesn't do well, or it doesn't sell well, now you've heard the other X-Men movie. Deadpool 2 is going to do well no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay? You could release the trailer. It could be Ryan Reynolds literally saying that, oh, our first one made money, so we're good. You guys are going to see this crap or not. Like,
and people would
be like, aha, break the fourth wall, we're going to see that. But if New Mutants doesn't do well, now you've heard Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Especially, not everybody loved Apocalypse. I think people that didn't like it are hipsters, but not everybody liked that film.
I actually really enjoyed Apocalypse.
I enjoyed Apocalypse. I was very surprised. And what got me mad was a lot of things people didn't like were all aesthetic, like just visual things. Like, didn't take, like, Isaac, what's his face, played a good Apocalypse. Yeah, he looked like Ivan Ooze from Power Rangers. I will agree with that.
Yeah.
But he was still a good Apocalypse, you know what I mean? He loved his voice, I loved the way he acted, you know what I mean?
I could agree with that.
That's like saying, Quicksilver was awesome. He was funny, but his white hair looked like a wig. Done. Like, it makes sense to me. So, what do you think of New Mutants? Do you think it's bold? I mean, what do you think?
I think they're obviously trying to make sure that they never lose this X-Men license.
Besides that, this is what I was thinking. I was actually going to call you the other day about it, and then I realized you were probably at work, so I got really sad. It was really pathetic. I started crying.
I'm sorry.
Here's what I'm thinking. They shot themselves in the foot with this whole Logan thing and with Days of Future Past, where all they can do now is do X-Men movies in the past. And one of the things we had mentioned was, how are we ever going to feel like anything's a threat, knowing that in the 80s they went against Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Like, you fought freaking Apocalypse in the 80s. Why should you be scared of Magneto in the 90s? You know what I mean? So my whole idea is, now that they've kind of worked themselves in a corner, this New Mutants is going to be their way of doing the X-Men modern day without it touching that storyline. You know what I mean?
I can understand.
Getting that more flexibility and stuff like that. And obviously for the X-Men movies, you're going to want to stick into the past because Dark Phoenix is going to take place in the 90s.
Yeah.
And still rumors are it's going to be during the incident with the spacecraft that launched off. So let's hope that happens.
Fingers crossed.
I would love to see X-Men in space. I think it'd be cool.
I agree.
Because everything else that goes to space works out. Remember Jason X? Award winning. I was sarcastic. Don't look at me like that. I'm sorry, I love you.
Once you brought up Jason X, I was like, what? Why did we go there? That movie was horrible.
Yeah. That movie was Mighty Number 9.
Gosh.
Just fit it in.
God,
I did it for you guys.
I hate you.
For 10 to 15 to 22 to the one day we got 43 viewers. I did it for you. Mighty Number 9. Always coming up.
Oh my god. So let's get into some DC news. You like Teen Titans.
Who doesn't?
I like Teen Titans.
I like Young Justice too.
We really wanted a Teen Titans live action movie.
Yes.
Doesn't seem like we're getting that yet, but we are getting a TV series.
I heard. Who's doing the show, by the way? Do you know?
I do not.
CW?
Probably.
CW does everything.
I would assume that CW is just trying to get as much.
I'm worried on a Teen Titans live action show because, and I just so stupid because I mentioned earlier I don't want them doing, I want them doing emotional storylines. I don't want to see a teen drama, Teen Titans show, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to see Dawson's Teen Titans, you know? That's what I would be worried about, you know what I mean? I think Arrow has already got too much drama in it with this person likes this person sleep with this person. Like, that's the reason one of the
Skank.
This is the reason why I like Flash, is they kind of skip all that BS. So yeah, I'm kind of worried about that for a Teen Titans show. Especially in the comic books with the lore of everybody sleeps with everybody in the comics. Like, I feel like Robin will sleep with anything in that show.
Yeah.
Could be with Starfire the first season, second season he's getting with Raven. Then him and Beast Boy got a thing going on because they, want everybody to be happy, and it's going to be rough. You like Beast Boy?
I do like Beast Boy. I think he's an okay character.
So, plus, are you going to have the budgeting to do a Teen Titans TV series? Like, are you going to have to leave out cool characters because they're not in the budget for you?
That's another thing I'm curious
Beast Boy,
about.
I would love Beast Boy. It would be expensive to have.
For him to constantly be transforming and stuff. Now, I'm sure you've noticed too that some of the Titans, I wonder what Titans they're going to go with. Because lately Cyborg isn't a part of the Titans.
Yeah, well, when they reboot the whole DC universe again, they went back to Hal Jordan, and so we would still have a black man in the Justice League. They just brought Cyborg up. I was actually talking to my wife about how much I hate that.
Huh.
You didn't know that?
No.
I'm sorry, man. Everybody, he looks surprised. Hold on, give us a minute. It's okay, man. You're right. You be okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You're right.
But, yeah, so, we have Cyborg now in Justice League, so he's not a part of that. But I think now, what's Bumblebee? What's that girl's name? Is it just B?
I don't know.
You don't know her name?
I think Bumblebee, maybe?
That's
the one that the bee girl is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think her name's Bumblebee, but
I don't think.
I don't know either.
I feel like they would, if you wanted to go with the most popular team, it would probably be Robin, Raven, Starfire, Beast Boy, and the Blue Beetle would probably be the best team you probably could pop out.
But which ones do you think we get?
for aesthetic reasons, for money saving, probably
Well, I mean, like, first off, which Robin? Because right now,
technically it's Damien.
Damien is the new one. So are they going to make this seem as if it's already been established for a while?
I don't know. I definitely think with the popularity of Arrow, you're probably going to have an Arsenal in there.
Because you can't have Nightwing in it. Nightwing isn't a part of it, and they've already referenced Nightwing in multiple CW TV series. So obviously it can't be Dick Grayson.
Yep.
So your only two options then are Tim Drake
or Damien. Probably Tim Drake would probably be the safer bet, because then you don't have to get into the whole Batman love triangle thing. Obviously, you're going to throw an Arrow character in there, whether it be Artemis, Red Arrow, Speedy, whoever in there, somebody, even though Speedy, all that.
I wouldn't mind seeing Artemis. I mean, Arsenal.
I always like Arsenal and...
Well, here's why I say I wouldn't mind Arsenal. You started off with Arsenal, Starfire, Tim Drake, and we'll say Raven and maybe a Beast Boy.
Maybe a Beast Boy.
No
Blue Beetle?
I love Blue Beetle.
Yeah, man, he's so great.
But I feel like, honestly, his budget would be really high. Especially if you're already going to have Beast Boy. Beast Boy's going to... If you have Beast Boy and he doesn't constantly change form, like every fight he's only one animal, I'm going to be disappointed. Because Beast Boy is constantly changing the animal he is to suit the situation he's in.
You know what? I'd be disappointed if they had the ability to change in animals and he actually changed into a normal animal and not the green one. That's one thing I loved about Beast Boy, was he was always a green version of what the animal was.
That would be really upsetting. Especially if they do that just to save money.
Yeah.
All right, put the dog on the screen. Get him out there.
Just put a green spotlight on it. I don't know how. I'm kind of worried because, like you said, we do love. I would have loved to see a Teen Titans movie, and I would love to see it fleshed out, because Teen Titans is a darker storyline, and I would love to see. To me, one of the best things about Teen Titans is their villain is Deathstroke.
Well, that's the nice thing too. You already established a Deathstroke for this next Batman movie.
Yeah.
Why not do a Teen Titans
And
movie
I'm just
after?
saying it would be nice, because one of the coolest things about him was Deathstroke was fighting kids, man. He didn't feel bad about killing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I love that rivalry between him and Robin. It was always one of the best things. You know what I mean? Like, Robin always wanted to prove that he could beat him.
Yeah, I agree.
You remember that amazing Teen Titans show?
Yeah, I have all the seasons.
That was a great show.
Red X.
Oh my God! High five, brother! Oh. If you've never watched that show, go watch that show. It was so good.
It's really hard to find now, though.
It is.
And it's expensive.
Because Go, and I'm not, like, my son loves Go, so I'm not hating on it at all. It's nowhere near as great as the original. Yeah. Remember that song? Teen Titans Go!
Okay, so let's keep going. Season 3 of Young Justice will debut in 2018. And we are excited. I know we are.
Excited.
No, we both are. I know you are.
I am, but, like, I'm worried. Remember what Netflix did to Arrested Development?
I just want you to remember that at the end of Season 2, we saw Rainbow Savage.
Good.
And Darkseid shake hands.
It's true. You know what, though?
How do you ruin that? Like, you obviously are going to do a big arc. Now, I'm curious if this is the last season or if they're going to do, like, one of those things where it's testing the water, see how it does.
My question is, are they going to do what I thought was one of the bravest things ever and do a time jump again? That would be nice.
I really liked the time jump.
I loved it too, man. You know what I mean? And you would think, like, the show was so well written with them as kids, to jump 5 years was amazing.
Well, I was so shocked when I was like, Aqualad's a bad guy.
It was nice. And then the fact that they were going back and telling the story, it was really nice. And, you know what I mean? It was smart of them, because then they got to skip over certain really dark elements that they couldn't handle in the cartoon. Like, I just love the Tim Drake standing in front of Jason Todd's grave and Nightwing being there. It was such an awesome image. Everything gave us enough story, and you didn't have to go into dark places.
Yeah.
So I think a 5-year jump would be a really good idea again.
I wouldn't mind that. I like that when they also did the jump, they then introduced new members.
Yeah.
You got Blue Beetle.
You right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Well, he was introduced at the end of season 2.
Huh?
He was introduced at the end of season 2.
No, he was introduced in the beginning of season 2.
I agree with you.
Because he always fought his backpack.
You're right. That is
and I remember when one time who was it? It was Superboy. When he was kind of getting upset and going bad, the backpack was like, "Threat detected, annihilate." He's like, "No," and only he could hear him. And they were like, "What are you talking about?"
That was honestly, my wife watched that show with me because I told her, I was like, "You gotta watch the show." You know, and like I said, I was not big into cartoons, but that was just a well-written show.
So good.
And she got super emotional at the end when they killed Kid Flash off. And you know what I mean? And I feel like to pull that out of somebody that's not even a comic fan,
Yeah.
and somebody that's watching a cartoon that had no interest in watching it, to get that emotion out of her, like she was really upset, showed how well that show did on its characters.
It just sucks that I was really upset with the reason behind why they canceled it.
Toys didn't sell, man. That's
Toy
it.
sales. And I was like,
It's because, but anybody I know that talked to him was like, "Hey, Young Justice," or like, the show was amazing, and it came out of nowhere too. That was the
Yeah.
best. And also, it made me love characters I never had interest in. Like, I loved
Same.
Aqualad. I thought he was so, the whips, everything they looked about him,
Aqualad was awesome in that. And
Yeah,
I never had interest in him either.
and like the leader of the team. Yeah, it makes sense. Connor was such a cool character after that. Like, everything about that show made sense.
I really enjoyed Blue Beetle, who I never liked. I hated Blue Beetle until I saw that show.
It did. Smallville almost ruined him. Red Tornado, who nobody would ever have cared about until that show came
Yeah.
out. And there's so many, like, everybody has their episodes they talk about, you know what I mean? Oh, I love this episode. The one where Zatanna loses her father to the Dr. Fate mask. Like, that, I don't care who you are, you were like, no, you felt so bad.
I also really liked when, well, she had to lose her father, or it was going to be, what's his name? Kid Flash. Because remember, he put on the helmet.
I thought it was her. He sacrificed it for her.
No, I remember.
Because Kid Flash put it on.
Uh-huh.
And then it was Aqualad put it on, and Ken Nelson
You're right.
used a little bit of left, and then she put it on. And it was by that point it was like, don't put it on. Ken Nelson used the rest of his essence to let Aqualad go.
Yeah.
God, I loved Aqualad.
Because whoever put it on next was
Yeah, it was
it.
true.
You're stuck as him.
And I loved that even though it let her take the mask off, he was a man of his word, and he put it on. Oh man, it's such a good show. And the fact that, like, in the second season, they put in when he got knocked out and she tried to take it off and it wouldn't let her, like, And I love when they're having I'm sorry, I can go on about the show forever.
It's
But when they're talking about, members of the Justice League who letting in, and somebody's like, why is he even in here? He tricked his way into it and took over one of the forms of the other Justice League member, pointed Dr. Fate.
So, Avatar. You're not a big fan of it.
I hate that movie.
Yeah, I like it, but I
You do?
can
Did
understand.
I like
why.
the first time? Kansas Woods?
Yeah,
Do I like when they spoke with Huntus?
yeah,
Oh, from Billy.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
That explains why I like all of them.
So you like that movie, huh?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Why
Were-
no. Why did they fight the humans again?
They fought the humans because the humans burnt down their tree.
Right, because humans were trying to take what?
The mineral that's underneath the
And
tree.
why were they trying to do that? Oh, because Earth's dying,
Uh-huh.
and they were trying to save Earth, children and all that. But, it's okay because the blue people kept their place. Forget humanity. Great. Avatar is the dumbest. I hate that movie. I can't stand. Why is that the
Anyway.
highest grossing film of all time?
Well, we're getting 4 more.
Okay, why?
Avatar 2 will be out December 18th,
Ugh.
2020.
Ugh.
Avatar 3 will be out December 17th, 2021.
A year later, huh? So
Yep.
it must be a two-parter.
And then Avatar 4 will be out December 20th, 2024. And finally, it'll end with Avatar 5 on December 19th, 2025. First off, why the large gap between 2 and 3? Because there's like this jump of a 3-year gap. Like you go from having a movie back to back, and then nothing for 3 years, then we get the next one, and then it's back to back again. And is this too late? Like 2020?
Absolutely, it's too late starting off. That Avatar ship has sailed. The only time I hear people that are like, "Oh, I like Avatar," was people like you. Like, it's overrated.
What do you mean, people like you?
People like you, man.
Yeah, you're
Terrible taste in
You're
films.
starting to sound a bit racist.
I meant it to. Okay.
Wow.
Movie was dumb.
Okay, well, you know what?
Okay, let me be fair. Okay, this is a podcast for the people,
By the people.
by the people. Let me not be so jaded, because so is bad. and we talk about it trying to. Yes, I think it's very stupid that they waited this long to make a sequel.
Yes,
More than that, I think it's stupid they're waiting until 2020 to release it.
I agree.
Okay? And number 3, that's pretty bold of you to be like, oh, wait, we're doing 4 more sequels. Like,
First off, you didn't even get the one out yet.
yeah, let's see how 2 does before you jump conclusions.
At this rate, though, honestly, with how long it took for him to go from 1 to 2, I can see why maybe like they're like, hey, if you're doing 5, you just do them all at once because we can't wait another like what was it, 7 years?
It's been a long time. With that being said, I couldn't say anything about James Cameron because as much as he's a jerk I've heard in real life, I've never met the guy. Maybe he listens to this podcast, and so I'm sorry. I love Terminator. He's good at sequels, man. Terminator 2 Judgment Day is one of the greatest films ever made, in my opinion. You know, I mean, nobody thought he'd be able to top his first film with Terminator. And then he's like, hold my beer and watch this.
And you find out that he's not even the bad guy. Spoiler alert.
And it goes back to Aliens. That's probably my favorite Aliens, also him. So, do I think the film will be bad? No, absolutely not. Do I think Avatar was that bad? No, I'm just stating the facts that it's not an original idea. And I hated the fact that people were like, oh my god, so original. No. So,
What made up his own language?
What?
He's the fucking modern day Tolkien, and he's a biracial angel.
Hit you with my shoe. What movie is he going to rip off of for Avatar 2? We'll see. Okay, what's going to happen?
Well, if they had lightsabers, I'd be pretty happy.
No, it's about one of the avatars is a little too old for it and hasn't made the football team yet. But they had open auditions and he finally made it. It's going to be Avatar 2 Invincible. Starring Mark Wahlberg. It's going to be great. See what I did there? I did the storyline for
Or you have an avatar that's really smart but has a job as like a janitor, and then they find out that he's really smart.
So he has to go to a therapist and all that. Yeah.
All right, moving on. We'll stay in space. There's no guarantee for a Star Trek 4. Do we want another?
I haven't seen the last one. You haven't let me borrow it or brought it over yet.
I still haven't seen it myself.
We're best friends, man. We watch it together, okay?
Okay.
I'll come over to your new house and I'll sit on your lap. We'll put my head on my lap like we watch movies together. It's not weird, guys. It's not weird at all. And we'll watch it together. Do I think we need part 4? No. I think we have Star Wars enough to scratch that itch for us for a while. So I think we're good, man. And it's not like any of them actors from that franchise are needy. Like, it's not like anybody in there is going to be like, we're not making any more Star Wars movies or Star Trek movies. We're not going to do well anymore. Like, all of them are good. Probably Bones is the toughest one, and I feel like even he's still a really good actor. Keith Urban?
Yeah.
I loved him in Dread. Like, why is that movie not a household name?
I wouldn't mind another one, because I do really like this universe that they've established. But I can understand why it has stopped. The movie declined in views, and I don't know if that had to do with Star Wars.
Definitely was Star Wars. Right?
And I don't know if that's something they need to make sure that they space themselves away from.
I told you last time what I think it is. There's people that watch Star Trek and only watch certain Star Trek, and they're like, to them, there's no other Star Trek. So if you were going to continue the franchise, in my opinion, you have to pull from another Star Trek universe. And in my opinion, then the best step to do would be Next Generation. I would love to see an actor attempt the role of Jean-Luc Picard. You know, maybe get James McAvoy. Get it? Because he played young Professor X. See what I did there? Everybody liked it. No, I would love to see that. I would love to see that. Right there?
Yeah, I'm fine. Pulling my leg in. Not my fault that you crossed our legs.
I'm 6'2", man. What do you want me to do? I can't help it.
Personal space.
Am I upset that they're not making a 4? Yes and no, only because so far the movie's been great. I'm sure 3 is great. And to me, Into the Darkness was better than the first one.
I agree.
So, but it's not something it would not be something I would need. Like, Indiana Jones 5 is coming out. It's one of the ones Disney announced.
Yes.
I need Indiana Jones 5 because Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, to me, shouldn't be the way that franchise ends.
Okay.
I don't need another Star Trek because I'm good with this franchise. If they had ended it Into the Darkness, I would have been good with the franchise, you know?
Yeah. Okay. I can respect that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Kingsman.
I respect you. You could have been a Kingsman.
Really?
Yeah, man. I think you would have done much better than Eggy.
Thanks.
Like, honestly.
I would love to have been.
In a gentleman's suit and everything, you know? Manners make it the man, and that is what you're full of.
Oh, thanks.
So the Kingsman trailer is out. It's a bunch of pictures, and it feels really Kingsman-like.
No, the actual trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean a bunch of... Oh, you're saying pictures and the trailer. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
I've really enjoyed the trailers, both of them. I've really enjoyed the characters they added in. I'm really glad that we didn't get a sense of storyline or what's going on, and I enjoy this trailer much more than the first trailer I put out for the first movie. Remember the first movie, that trailer completely tricked us.
I can agree.
Like, that movie was witty, great, funny, charismatic. That first trailer for that first movie made it look like an action movie.
Yes.
I feel like this trailer is like, I think they left it ambiguous for a reason. So we get to decide what it is when we go see it. With that being said, that reveal at the end of the trailer, dumbest idea in the world.
The base?
Huh?
With the base?
With the what's his face coming back at the end of the trailer.
And who?
Did you watch the trailer or not?
Yeah, but the guy was in the shadows. I didn't see who it was.
It's what's his face from the first one that Samuel Jackson shot.
Galahad?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Oh,
I think that was the dumbest thing.
Shut your mouth. He's my favorite character.
I'm not saying it. Bring him back. Bring him back.
I need another church scene.
All right, I'm absolutely fine with coming back. Stop giving this away in the trailer. As much as I love Batman v Superman, I did not need to see Doomsday in the
He's the
trailer.
new bad guy.
Probably.
He's the one who blew up the base.
As much as I loved, Batman v Superman, don't give me Doomsday in the trailer. As much as I think Lord of the Rings are most overrated walking films, don't give me what's his face in the trailer again? Gandalf and Two Towers. He died to me in Fellowship. Let it be a twist and a surprise to me when he comes back. Stop it. Stop. I just don't understand people doing that. You think about it this way. You go sit down and see Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Rumors have been Spider-Man's going to be in that movie. That movie's going on. You see no Spider-Man. So you're like, eh. Then all of a sudden Tony Stark's like, I got to go to New York. And you're like, no way. And then all of a sudden the movie, Spider-Man just shows up. It would have been such a more impactful shock than just giving away in the trailer like they always do. So that's my only problem with Kingsman trailer. That's all. Sorry, I went on.
Galahad's back.
I know, okay?
That's all I care about.
I'm confused. You watched the trailer or not?
I did watch it.
You didn't see him at the end of the trailer?
So when I saw the trailer, I saw a dark figure. I could not tell who it was. I don't know if maybe I didn't see a longer trailer. Like maybe the one that I saw wasn't the one that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but where I saw it, it ends before he walks out of the shadow. So I didn't know who it was. I knew it was a returning character, obviously, due to the reaction. So I was like, well, it can't be Samuel L. Jackson's character because his head blows up.
With that, I'm excited about it. I don't know how they're going to bring him back. I don't know if it's going to be a whole he didn't even die. Samuel Jackson, he was on Samuel Jackson's side. I'm excited. Am I going to be upset now that they're revealing it looks like he's a villain? If he's an actual villain, yeah, because now you're ruining his character from the first one.
I could agree.
So hopefully it's just you find out it's Samuel Jackson with a new head. That would be amazing. So you love Kingsman. Kingsman was great. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I love Kingsman. Kingsman was really good. Boondock Saints. I like that movie too.
Who doesn't?
Getting a TV series.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about
I
it.
don't know either. Are the actors coming back? Mr. Facelift and Daryl? Or is it Daryl? Yeah, it's Daryl.
I don't believe so. I would assume that they're just going to do all new actors for this
Alright,
TV
so then,
series.
hey, no reason to watch this. No reason to watch this.
F that.
That's that, man. This is our podcast. We decide what we're gonna, praise and give information about. Listen, Boondock Saints, make a part 3 or make nothing. All right.
We've spoken.
We've spoken. All right. Enthusiasts have spoken.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of the TV series idea. I'm just getting tired of so many shows. So many movies coming back as shows.
And then them trying
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, I don't know. I don't like seeing smaller actors try to replace big movie actors. Doesn't make sense to me. Sometimes there's a reason that character's anonymous with that character.
I agree.
Nintendo news, if you want to get into it.
Actually, we had one more movie news. I accidentally put that in between them.
Did you want to do the Mad
Max.
Mad Max?
So the second movie title's been announced, The Doof Warrior. I honestly almost didn't believe that this was the title.
I would love to say how stupid, but Fury Road, literally, sit down and explain the plot line of Fury Road to me.
They try to stop women. They try to rescue women from their date raped.
Besides that, it's literally, I'm going to draw it out for you because we have this notebook here. Even though you guys can't see it, he'll describe it to you. The movie is literally this.
Is that a penis? Oh, yeah.
That's all that movie is.
They drive one direction and then you turn back.
Is that not one of the greatest movies ever made?
It is really good.
It's like,
I can agree with that.
So you're fine. Okay, this movie could have been Mad Max and the piece of shit at your door, and you're gonna be like, I'm sold.
Yeah.
When I had heard, because I love the Mel Gibson films, and Mel Gibson has my heart. Hate Jews all you want, Mel. I love you. Not something I co-sign with, but I just think he's a great actor, racist or not. And I love the original Mad Max movies. So when Fury Road was coming out, I was like, nope, won't do it. And then I watched that movie. And it was amazing. And I turned to my wife and I was like, they've done nothing but drive. And why do I like this? Why do I like this? It's the equivalent of them releasing another Logan movie after like 20 years with a new actor. And I'm like, I'm not watching this. This is not my Logan movie. And all he does is cook breakfast for, Weapon 23. And we love the movie. But,
Max literally had like 4 lines.
He did.
4 lines that guy probably had.
And the worst thing about it was they released the Mad Max game around the same time, which had nothing to do with the movie.
That game was great.
And Tom Hardy did not want to give his face up, so we got a whole new Max. Great game too, like so. And then I love how much talk was that Mel Gibson's Mad Max? Was it the kid from this movie? Like, I love the fact that you never knew. And all he said was, "My name is Max." That's it.
Yeah.
Great movie. So yeah, I'm excited. What do you think the name of the movie has to do with the plot line, though?
I have no idea. Obviously, a doof warrior.
I'm thinking that I don't know, man. Maybe this warrior's after Max, and that's the whole idea.
I wouldn't mind if Max needs to find the doof warrior.
All right.
Maybe the doof warriors.
But what's cool about that franchise, and I'm sure you've seen...
You can do anything.
Besides that, you've seen all the original movies?
I haven't seen all of them, no.
Okay. Either way, though, if you catch any Mad Max movie, you're fine. Because none of them tie into the other ones.
They're their own thing.
They're all their own thing. They're all one part of his life.
And I really hope that they keep that up with this.
And what I liked about Fury Road is you have no idea in the time frame when this movie takes place.
Yeah.
This could have been a sequel. This could have been a prequel. You know what I mean? All we knew was it was most likely after Road Warrior.
Yeah. Moving on. Let's get into some video game news. We're going to skip over the one comic news that I had in there. Only because it's already we've almost been doing this for an hour already.
God, it's because I love talking to you. Okay. I love letting you people know information. I love this podcast. This is all I got, buddy.
This Nintendo news should be with the rest of the Nintendo news, so ignore it for right now.
All right,
and we're going to go into... We got our first look at Call of Duty World War II. Did you see the trailer?
Yes.
All right, what did you think?
3 times, and I shared it on Facebook.
What did you think?
I really liked it.
I really liked the trailer, too.
I love Josh Duhamel as the actor they chose to pick. For some reason, I was thinking about it, I was like, Josh Duhamel, World War II, that works. I love the fact that it doesn't look like there's time travel. Doesn't look like there's futuristic weapons. It looks like a downplayed World War II based off a story, though. That trailer had a lot of heart in it.
Yeah, it did.
The part, I don't even know what they were referring to, but he was like, we had orders, and he decks him. I was like, oh man, that looks great. The church scene where you see him trying to grab the guy and he just falls. I feel like it's gonna be a nice meeting in the middle of these Call of Duties. You're gonna have awesome chase scenes and big action events in a World War II environment with symbolized guns and stuff. And what it looks like in the trailer, it looks really dark. It looks like,
It does. I'm excited. I'm hoping that this means Call of Duty is back to form. I haven't liked the Call of Duty in a long time. I know you still like them all.
Guess what I picked up today? Call of Duty.
God, I hate it.
I like the Call of Duty game.
I haven't liked one in a while. I feel like the futuristic turn just really kind of put a bad taste in my mouth.
You know what, though? With that being said, had they not done all these futuristic games, you wouldn't be super excited about this one.
Here's what I'm worried about now, though. I'm worried about if this is a ploy to go back to World War II. What?
No, I just want to fill your head. It's weird.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried if they're going to go back to World War II just to make us realize we didn't like it. Like, go, hey, you miss running on walls, don't you? Hey, you missed the jetpack, don't you? And it's like, no, I just want.
I felt like maybe I would agree with you before I watched the trailer. Watching that trailer, it looks like, first off, the game looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
the fact that was all in game.
It doesn't look as good as Battlefield, but it does look really good.
I agree with you, but I always feel like I'll take gameplay over graphics. Everyone knows I always feel like Call of Duty is played better than Battlefield. I don't care who wants to stab me and fight me. That's my opinion.
And you're entitled to it.
You don't agree though, obviously.
No, it's fine. I think Call of Duty used to be the best. Lately, whenever I play, it just kind of feels, I don't know, just hasn't felt the same. I'm hoping though that maybe this will change my mind and bring me back.
I want them to be in the middle. Like I said, I want to get rid of wall running and jump packs, but I want to be able to slide still. I want to be able to pull a knife out in close quarter combat, you know what I mean? I want to be able to switch to my guns really quickly because it's always faster than reloading.
I can understand that.
I want the guns to be really awesome. And to be honest, I've seen the Storm of Normandy like 1,000 times, and somehow trailer made it look fresh again.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, good job. And I just mentioned this on that podcast, is I'm tired of seeing that in video games. The trailer opens up with that, I'm like, damn, it looks awesome.
It was funny because they showed like a little teaser image before the trailer came out, and I was like, oh great, you're going to storm Normandy Beach. I haven't seen that 1,000 times.
Saving Private
Woo!
Every video game.
I was like, I swear to God, if you at least don't have a guy lose his arm and he's trying to find it in the sand, I'm going to be very disappointed. Watch the trailer, I was like, God. And Call of Duty always does this to me. I will always admit, Call of Duty's trailers look great. I haven't bought a Call of Duty in a long time because I've just been so burned by them personally.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't liked a Call of Duty in so long that I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to be fooled by you. But man, they sure know how to make
They
cut
can
a trailer.
cut a trailer. I agree with you. I was just talking to a friend of mine the other day, and 2 games, and you know, because we were talking at the time, that sold me on their trailer was Call of Duty Infinity War and Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Both trailers so well shot. No interest in getting them. Saw them trailers, was sold.
Yeah. Moving on.
Can we talk about Capcom finally?
Yeah, we got our first story.
What? How amazing is that story trailer?
For Marvel's Capcom?
Yeah.
It was actually really good.
I didn't want to love it, and I did.
I know.
First off, the introduction of all the characters, genius.
Well, I don't think that's all of them.
Well, of course, I know.
But
That's
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
The
I
way that
like
they
the way
did
it was. It didn't feel Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Mega Man joins the team. Like,
Yeah.
and it felt like
Joining the battle!
It looks like it was just them legitimately fighting him and him just picking them apart one by one.
Yeah.
I
like the fusion.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What?
I like the fusion.
Yeah, it
Which
remi-
I didn't think I was going to like.
it reminds me of Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. They did the same storyline. Remember?
Yeah. I didn't realize that until you just said it, so now it's kind of like...
You're welcome. I'm excited about this. I think it looks amazing. I'm really excited to see where they go in the storyline. And you know what? One of the things we had mentioned in the podcast is where do you go after Galactus? To me, this is a genius idea.
Yeah.
Take it to machines. Not only take it to machines, use a villain from Capcom and Marvel. You know what I mean? They're both obsessed with machines. I think it's an awesome idea. And I'm a huge Mega Man X fan, so to see that villain in there, I was just like, slow clap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So picture me in a jail cell. Commissioner Gordon just gets promoted, and I'm just sitting there. You know,
So...
that was a Dark Knight joke. Nothing. Come on, play it off with me.
I'm sorry.
Hey, you know, where are you today? You okay? You feeling all right?
I'm fine. I'm trying to
I
make
want
sure
to
we
love
get...
you. I want to do this.
I'm trying to make sure we get through everything without us being over an hour and 30 minutes. Because then people are going to be like, your podcast is too long. I don't want to sit there for an hour and 30 minutes because I got things to do. But then all I'm going to do is sit in front of a TV and watch infomercials.
Apparently that's our viewing audience. Or old men that live on the street in Family Guy. What's good news?
Get your fat ass back here.
Starting to piss me off.
So let's go over the roster so far that we know. Hulk, Captain America,
Aha!
Chun-Li,
Ah!
Ryu,
Hooyah!
Chris Redfield,
Yeah!
Hawkeye.
I got nothing. That was... Phew.
Ultron.
Captain
Marvel.
Oh, no, she's
It's a
a girl
girl.
this time.
Ah! Isn't that the same thing
No.
we make Glee do?
Yeah.
Mega Man.
He's a fighting robot.
Mega Man. Iron Man. Thor.
Iron Man. All I can hear is the money. Robert Downey Jr. still making. Thor, which looks awesome.
And
Oh!
Rocket Raccoon.
Now we're a bunch of jackasses talking about this podcast. Good jackass. That's what it said. All right. What do you think?
I like the roster so far.
I agree.
I'd like to see more characters. One thing I would like to see instead of Rocket Raccoon is Groot and Rocket maybe be the same character.
I thought the same thing.
Because we already had Rocket in the last one, 3. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but I really would like to see them.
I honestly, I would love to see. What are you more excited for? More Capcom people or more Marvel?
I want more Capcom.
Oh, and Spider-Man. Wasn't Spider-Man in the trailer?
Spider-Man was not in the trailer.
I swear he was. I think you've been off with new trailers. I'm pretty sure he was.
I don't think he was.
We're gonna watch it again after this, and then next week I want you to apologize to me live.
I'm not. No.
Yeah, no, we'll do that.
Okay.
So
and
anyway,
if I'm right, you have to apologize to me.
okay, right enough.
All right.
What do you want to see? More Marvel or more Capcom?
I want to see more Capcom.
Okay.
I'd like to see Dante return.
Me too.
Because I really like Dante. Maybe not do the DMC Dante because from my understanding, the next Devil May Cry is going to be 5. An actor leaked that he's been doing voice work for it. So I think they're just going to pretend DMC didn't happen, and they're just going to.
It was a prequel, so you didn't even really need it.
Yeah.
It's not like you didn't have
I also wouldn't mind if Nero from 4. I wouldn't mind seeing him. Beautiful Joe. I'd love to see him come back.
That would be cool. I would like to start seeing some off characters that we haven't seen in a while. Bionic Commando would be cool in there.
Yeah, he was in 3.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Some Dark Stalker characters we hadn't seen before.
The Wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, Frankenstein.
Yes. Onimusha would be awesome.
Oh my God. Capcom, please, Onimusha.
It would be cool, and then you could test to see how much people miss this franchise.
Yeah.
Also, I would love to see some more Resident Evil characters. As much as I love Chris.
I don't want to see Wesker again.
No. But you also...
I'm shocked they didn't put Leon this time.
It is true, and he's the more popular character.
Yeah, like they went with Chris again.
Sometimes though, I feel like Marvel Capcom puts people in for a story aspect versus, somebody I wouldn't mess with. So maybe I felt like Leon would. Maybe we'll get Leon. Maybe I would love Nemesis. Or the monster from 2. I can't remember its name. That would be cool.
Okay.
So,
I don't really want Zero again.
no.
I thought he was okay. I'm glad they're bringing back Mega Man now.
Yeah, I was really disappointed in Mega Man.
I wouldn't maybe mind Axel from X.
Okay, yeah.
Axel is pretty cool. Man, why am I drawing a blank on these Capcom
It
properties?
is weird, yeah, and it's because there's so many Capcom properties. It's a big issue too.
Yeah.
So, Street Fighter characters, please do not go crazy. For all that, I'll play Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Ryu and Chun-Li are good to me. That's
I think you could maybe add one more,
Sagat.
but I wouldn't want too much.
Tiger Punch.
I wouldn't I don't want Akuma though. I don't want someone who's almost like a reskin of Ryu. Like I
Yeah.
really like someone who's really different.
Like Sagat.
Sagat's cool.
Yeah, please go Simon. I'm saying I always go Simon with you. Okay.
Well, Sagat's one of my favorite Street Fighter characters.
You know who's the only S ranking Street Fighter character is?
I did not.
Yep, Tyler.
Okay. From Marvel's side though, I really wish they do the Groot Rocket team up. I wouldn't mind seeing one more Guardian. I do not want more than one. Maybe Star-Lord.
I would like to see Drax.
I don't care who the hell they put. One more Guardian though. I don't want them to go overboard
I'd like
with
to
the
see
Guardians.
Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl would be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing some more villains instead of just heroes, like Venom. Would be pretty cool. Well, Agent Venom.
Oh, yo, I'd get it first day. I'm probably gonna get it first day anyway, but yeah.
I think Agent Venom would be pretty cool. Carnage maybe, but not too many.
Blade.
Ooh,
Morpheus.
Blade versus Dante would be.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That'd be so awesome. Yeah, there's so many characters that you can do, and it's so hard because they did do a lot of them in 3.
Yes.
Like Doctor
3 had a lot of characters though.
3 had a crap ton.
Yeah.
Because I love Nova. I don't know if they should bring him back again because it's like, well, he was in 3. So
Yeah.
what do we do? If they do bring Spider-Man, I kind of hope it's Miles Morales as Spider-Man.
Or Scarlet Ben Riley. Why do you get to like Miles Morales and I can't like Ben Riley?
Why can't he just be a skin?
Why does he have to be a skin?
Well,
What, because he's a clone of Peter Parker?
Yeah.
You're clone rich, okay? That's like prejudice on clones.
Okay.
Alright, you're rude. You don't like the Stormtroopers either, huh? Piss you off?
Commander Cody's my favorite.
You son of a...
Anyway.
Shadow of Mordor,
Yeah.
which is a sequel to...
No, Shadow of War, which is the sequel to Shadow of Mordor.
You're going to stop interrupting me today.
Alright, good.
Shadow of Mordor, which is a sequel to the early Lord of the Rings Hobbits books. Thank you. Let me finish my sentence. Is getting a sequel called Shadow of War. And this one, it looks like what? Since you want to talk so much.
It doesn't look. Well, I was saying that there's going to be a couple changes coming to the game. Loot will be one thing that's different. Loot is going to change the appearance of your character.
Which we mentioned we wanted.
Yes, which I think is actually really cool. Like you can finally your armor will change. You can actually get armor instead of just wearing those rags and leather. Your weapons will change. You can get new swords, bows, and the dagger or broken sword. I don't know if it's going to be broken sword or if it's going to be a dagger this time.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. So I like the idea of being able to change my appearance without it being a skin. Because the first one you could change your appearance, but it's just reskins of like different characters.
Yeah.
I like the loot system idea. How do you feel?
I agree with you. I think it's going to be great. As long as you don't touch what made that game great, the core aspect, and just do things like that, improve your Nemesis system, improve the looting, stuff like that, I'm fine with it. Just don't ruin what made that game great.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of improvements in the Nemesis system, it is getting an upgrade. So one of the things that they added to it now is the Nemesis system will also affect the environment. And the way that they mean this is whoever is war chief will affect the environment around it. So if you have someone from the beast hunting tribe that's an orc war chief that is the leader of that area, you will find more beasts that are controlled by the orcs instead of beasts that also attack the orcs. Mm-hmm. You'll find skulls of animals as decoration and banner. Whereas if you find like a machine tribe, you'll see actual statues because they carve them in with their machines. You'll see them having more gadgets and gizmos.
That's really badass.
Yeah, it's really cool. So it also makes it, since everything's randomly generated anyway, your entire gameplay could be different than mine.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
All right, is this a rent, try, buy? What are you going to do?
I'm getting. I already have it pre-ordered on my PS4. That thing's already good, ready to go.
Fair enough.
Moving on from that though.
Moving on.
Actually, since we're on the topic, and I said I pre-ordered mine on my PS4 digitally, you brought something up to me recently, and you wanted to talk about it on here.
Digitally.
Digital pricing compared to physical. Now, you were saying that you went to buy, what game was this?
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare?
Yes.
That was the one with Kevin Bacon.
Yes.
Kevin's piece of Kevin Bacon.
And how much?
I want that so bad, a Call of Duty game.
How much was it on disc?
On disc, $10.
And how much was it digitally?
60 still.
Yeah.
What did just happen?
Is that a train?
It might be a train, or my wife overloaded the laundry again. Let's keep doing this digital talk.
All right. So you were asking me why is it that the game's still 60 digitally? And I told you that they have to make they have to play ball with retailers, because if they make their digital games cheaper than the retailer, then the retailer is going to go, well, then we're just not going to sell your stuff.
Correct.
We're not going to sell your console, we're not going to sell your games, and you can just go somewhere else. Which I think it's slowly getting to the point where Sony and Microsoft just don't care. They're like, you know what? Don't sell it. We have Amazon who will sell it, Walmart who will sell it.
Yeah.
There are places that will sell it without needing the games there to sell it.
Yeah.
And second is, for every physical copy that you don't buy by buying digital, they still need to make up that money because they are still paying for the plastic, for the disc, for someone to ship it.
And which makes more sense what you explained it that way to me. Still a shame because I would love to go digital, and that's also a really expensive way. You know what I mean?
So here's how I usually see it. If it's a game that you're going to buy day one anyway, it won't matter. You know what I mean? You can just buy it the first day it comes out. You're paying the $60 either way. I do understand that argument where it's like, well, I don't get stuff. When games go digital, I'm pretty sure, and I could bet any amount of money that pricing of the game will go down. Like it's just going to happen. You're not paying for that plastic, you're not paying for the disc, and all that.
How do you sell it to somebody like me switching digital though? And it's just me real quick. Somebody like me who bought Street Fighter V first day, super excited, traded in the next day because.
Well, see, there's the other thing though. You don't have to get it the first day. You just can wait till opening window. Think about it. It's not like when a game comes out the next day it's on sale.
Right.
There is a window that you can wait, and you can be smart about it. Granted, no one thought Street Fighter was going to be the mess it was because the series was usually always pretty good. So I can understand that disappointment. At the same time, there are reviews that you can wait for. There's plenty of things.
It's hard for you to tell somebody, because there's games that to me, don't get fair reviews, and I still really much enjoy them. So it's tough. Maybe one day I'll go digital, but for the next foreseeable future, I'm going to stick with my hard drive.
I can understand that.
Different locators, because I don't always need to go to GameStop. I might start going other places.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Let's get into the news you love. Nintendo.
Ooh.
Um,
Let's name some Nintendo news. I'm pissed with Nintendo right now.
Really?
Oh, yeah. So Nintendo was like, hey, everybody, we're releasing 3 Legend of Zelda Amiibos for the 30th anniversary. And like Nintendo always does, get it now because the reserves are going to fill up in 40 seconds. Can't get them anywhere. Amazon won't even let you order it.
Really?
Sold out everywhere.
That's really upsetting.
Stupid.
Because I really wanted the Majora's Mask link.
Yes, stop it, Nintendo. Amiibo,
It almost just makes me want to give up on even trying.
Exactly. It annoys me. Why do I have to fight this much to get Nintendo products? Why can't I go to the store comfortably and be like, let me just grab this?
Yeah.
It drives me insane.
Or at least, say, we have a cutoff date eventually. But until then, we're just going to...
This tells me that somebody in their corporate office was sitting there and they were like, here's how many we're going to release. Well, what if we get more demand for that?
Oh, well.
To me, that doesn't spit in the face of people that don't reserve or just thinking about getting it. It spits in the face of people that legitimately love your product.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't wait a year. I didn't wait a couple months. I heard that it was reservable last week. I went to reserve it this week, and it's sold out already.
Yeah.
That's less than 7 days.
And Majora's Mask is my favorite Zelda, so, I would love to have an amiibo of that.
And it's like, I apologize, Nintendo. I work. I didn't.
Yeah.
But to me, you just Sony'd me right there. Or get a second job, or do something call out of work to get your amiibo.
Yeah. You didn't call out of work for our Nintendo Direct?
Yeah,
Your fault, buddy.
So I'm super annoyed with it right now.
I can understand that.
So to the point where I went and reserved the Cloud Amiibos, and I'm honestly debating whether just to cancel and say, you know what, you got your money from me for Amiibos. I'm done playing this game of running out, hunting them down. You don't want to release them like a normal manufacturer. I'm done.
I can understand that argument. Nintendo just announced a 2DS XL.
Yeah.
They're going to be $149.99. It's finally going to be able to fold.
Yes.
It's going to have a built-in Amiibo functionality.
Yes.
And
another.
Yeah, it's going to have the C-Stick, just like the new 3DSs, which that's the thing. It's a new 2DS, so it will be able to play the new 3DS games, which there's still only one. And the Super NES games can only be played on the new systems as well. So there is that to it. Do you think it's too late for this?
No, not at all. I think this is for anybody that didn't get 2DS.
Okay.
And doesn't have a 3DS yet. But do I think it's weird that it's a new 2DS?
You have a Switch out right now that you're trying to get people to buy, and you're giving them cheaper option.
Yeah, I honestly know. I feel like the Switch. I feel like they should stop advertising as a portable system because it's not, man. That thing hurts. If you play it, you want portable. I played Mario Kart for 10 minutes the other day, portable mode. My hands were getting tired. I'm a big dude. Like it's not a portable system. So until they release a Switch Slim or a Switch Smaller, you can't advertise this portable system. You can advertise that as a console system you can take on the go.
Okay.
Because that in no way is portable. And I told a friend of mine that came over for my Mario Kart party, the one you didn't come to because you don't like me.
No, it's because I had work. But
Whatever. I'll just sleep at night. What I do when I take it out is I bring a controller with me and I use it in tabletop mode because it's just too heavy to hold there.
Bless you. No? Okay. Moving on. But do you think you're going to get one?
No,
Not for your son or anything?
No, I said this is for people that don't have it. We all own DS. Literally everybody in this house owns DS.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, Jesus.
All overpower. Good going.
You done?
For now.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Everybody in my house owns one, so I feel like this is for people that don't own one yet.
But that's the thing. Who doesn't own one at this point? The 3DS has been out since 2011.
I agree, but there's still kids are getting that this year. They're going to be old enough for a DS finally. Yeah.
That's true. I just feel like most kids, while they may not understand how big and unportable the Switch is, they're going to see that the Switch is the new thing. So kids are really going to be like, oh, I want the Switch, Mom, because I can play it on the go when we're in the car and at home.
I don't know. I feel like, and I still feel like Nintendo in their mind, it's like, we're Nintendo. People will own a DS and a Switch.
I can understand that.
I'm surprised they haven't come out in cases where you can carry both at the same time.
We should make this.
You know, like,
Market it.
that's how Nintendo is into themselves.
That's true. I guess we can move on from this. I personally just don't understand who it's for. I don't really get why they're doing it when they have a product that they're really trying to push. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe the sales for the Nintendo Switch are good, which that's what we'll get into next. So Nintendo has come out and said that they sold 2.74 million units in under a month. Is this something to brag about?
No and yes. It's good for Nintendo.
It is good for Nintendo.
Good for, in general, no.
So here's what I'm gonna say.
They're selling each system for profit, though, aren't they?
They are, yes.
That is pretty good.
So let's look at their competitors and see what they did. So for PS4,
if you're going to talk Sony, that's tough because everybody and their mom loves Sony.
yeah. So Sony sold 1 million units in its first weekend it was released, and wow, that is crazy. 1 million in a weekend.
Yeah.
And then you have Microsoft, who has yet to, that they didn't release sales numbers for the longest time, so we don't really know what theirs was, what they had. But clearly, I'm going to assume since they didn't reveal sales numbers, it was less than PlayStation. So for the sake of this argument, we'll say within the same time frame, we'll say they did half. So they did 500,000. So, I mean, within the first month, sure, Nintendo's doing good.
Yeah.
It's also doing really well compared to the Wii U.
Which is not saying much.
It's that 100%
I
true.
mean, you were the ones that bought the Wii U. You were the ones that kept Nintendo afloat.
Well, 13 million people bought a Wii U. But the question is, so 13 million people got a Wii U, and I'm going to assume that the Switch is at least going to do 13 million, because Nintendo fans are pretty loyal.
Yeah.
As much as I sometimes feel like I was burned for buying a Switch so early, I'm still going to hold on to it. But is this number a representation of how well the Switch is doing, or is this a representation of Nintendo fans buying the console day one?
I think it's as well as Nintendo's doing, because I feel like it's only going to do better from there. And come Christmas and stuff like that, it's going to do better. With that being said, it's hard. Coworker the other day was saying she wants to get a video game system, and asked me my opinion. And who am I? I'm a Nintendo fanboy. Do you know what I recommended to her?
PlayStation.
A PS4. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's tough. But I think only sales will go up from here for Nintendo, so I don't think they're hurt too well.
Now, see, here's what I think decides the sales, and I'm just going to actually add our next topic into this.
Mhm.
That's Nintendo's E3 press conference.
Which is, they're not going to do barely anything.
Yeah, they said
They
they're not.
always do that for E3. Why are you stupid?
They're not going to have a stage presence this year, which I think out of all the years, this is when they really need to be on
Yeah.
stage and show off everything they have.
Maybe they're trying to like establish that as their own company. Like the Switch sold, and they're like, "Damn it,
They're like, we just want to put games on Xbox and PlayStation.
I'm tired."
But that's the problem. Games.
I agree with
Nintendo
you.
still doesn't have it.
And the worst is like I'm literally picking up games that are coming out for it as they come, and they're quality games. They're not system sellers though.
And they're not scratching that itch.
Yeah, like I picked up Mario Kart, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty. It's beautiful. It's not a system seller.
It's the same game we already played.
Where
With a
they
couple special features.
Get through a few characters.
But I don't think that, personally, I don't think it was worth the $60 bump. I think
Yeah.
it should have been $40.
I picked up.
Same with Lego City Undercover.
Yeah. Really fun game. Not worth the price tag. I really feel like they literally had one system seller. Where please name me 5 Sony system sellers.
You can name more than 5.
Exactly. That's the difficult.
I can name 5 this year.
Not thinking right now. I can just say Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4, Resident Evil. Like just popping through, like thinking, not even thinking 2 seconds. I can't do that with my. You could give me all day for Nintendo. Legend of Zelda.
And that's it.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like I really feel like, although they're not, and I'm not saying they're not releasing quality games because their games are quality. Nintendo is rare to put out a game that feels unfinished. Their games are always finished. They're always done. Matter of fact, when Nintendo makes news about games, is when the reviews were great. That's the surprise. But there's never been that like wow factor. So far, all you've announced for that system is 2 system sellers. And that's Mario Odyssey and that damn train. Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Splatoon is great. I love Splatoon. We're going to get Splatoon when it comes out. Is Joe, who doesn't really like a Switch, like Nintendo as much as we, going to get a Switch because of Splatoon?
No. And probably, honestly, if they don't really like Nintendo, they're probably, Mario and Zelda probably don't sell them on it either.
I was talking to Scott, the one that was on our podcast before, and I said, what would make you get a Switch? And he's like, honestly, Breath of the Wild didn't do it as much as I thought it was great. Nothing, probably. And he looked at me, he was like, I would need like a sequel to a game I know I'm never going to get that only came out on the Switch. He's like, let them announce Dead Space 4 for it, I'd pick it up.
Yeah.
That's the only way he'd pick up a Switch now. And I understand. He's not a Nintendo fan. What are you offering him, Nintendo?
And that's my argument is Nintendo right now is kind of only catering to their fans. And not even very well personally because I
can't get damn amiibos.
I haven't played anything on my Switch. I haven't touched my Switch in I don't know how long. And it's kind of annoying. I recently Googled RPGs for the Switch. I really want to play an RPG, something small on the go. And I was like, you know what, I'll just get it for the Switch if they have anything. There is no RPG on the Switch besides I Am Setsuna, which I already own on my PS4 and I'm not willing to buy again.
Oh, man. Oh, sorry, allergies.
It's okay. Get it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And not only that, now I have the fear of, oh, this is coming out on PS4 and Xbox and the Switch, but it's coming out on the Switch months later. Like, it drives me crazy. Troll and I is out on everything else but the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, same thing with Dragon Quest Heroes. It's
Yep.
already out on PS4. Switch,
Who
you have
knows,
to wait.
Who knows when we're getting that?
Yeah. It's. I feel like that's going to be the story for a lot of games at this point.
You gotta give me something. Maybe like Red Dead Redemption 2. That would be nice.
Even if you just put the first one on there again.
I really feel like that's what they need to do. Is just start putting let's see. You know what? Well, it'll probably take. Let's see how well Skyrim does on it. Skyrim sells, which probably will. Because Mass Effect 3 sold well on the Wii U.
I'm going to assume
Which is
Skyrim
mind-boggling.
going to sell. My concern more is how is it going to run? If it doesn't run smoothly, people are going to be like,
Should have got it on the PS4.
yeah.
What I'm saying is, as a Nintendo fanboy, there is nothing that I can, let's say, I can talk to somebody and be like, hey, this is what is worth getting a Switch. Versus me, who likes Sony, but I'm not a Sony fanboy, and I can talk somebody into a PS4 any day because there's just so many options on it.
Yes. I'm not necessarily a fanboy for any company because last generation, my 360 was my main system for a while. I'm for whatever has the games. And for me right now, PlayStation has that. I definitely think
Heavenly
that...
Sword, Uncharted. They come out on the 360?
No. And don't get me wrong, I loved my PS3 for...
God of War, that
exclusive-
come out on the 360?
No. I loved my PS3. My PS3 I loved for the single-player games, had way better single-player games. But I really enjoyed playing with my friends before. So I liked my 360 more.
The 360 was a good system, and I agree with you. You should always go with the games. But anybody knows I get called Nintendo fanboy all the time that I'm a huge Nintendo fanboy. What I'm legitimately disappointed right now is, as much as I like the Switch, I have fun on playing the Switch way more than you. I understand where you're coming from. I can't even argue on this podcast with you about there's nothing on it when there's nothing on it.
Yeah.
You see my son today. I was so excited to see you. Grabbed your hand. Look how many games we have for the Switch. I bought everything. It came out on it. And that's all I can get my pile up to. I think I've skipped 3 games on that system.
Yeah, it's sad. But, I feel like we're kind of beating a dead horse because I feel like every time we talk about Nintendo...
No, because Nintendo's going to finally listen to us. And they're going to be like, oh, so sorry. They're going to, start making great games. I'm racist? That was racist.
Why did the Japanese guy have to say sorry? Why couldn't it be Reggie?
Why is it only the, English...
The only English speaking...
Only English accent is the only accent you can do and not sound racist. Nobody ever does an English accent. They're like, oh, that's racist. But that was super racist what I just did. You can't even do an American accent and not sound racist. If I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Yeah, racist against Southerners. Look at that. Oh, man. You're right. It might be Reggie. No, because Reggie endured my email that I sent him.
You sent him an email?
Oh, yeah. I harass Nintendo all the time in the email.
Did he actually read it?
I don't know if he read it. I know I've gotten responses from them, like, leave us alone, sir.
Did you really?
Yeah, all the time, man. Yeah, that's my wife. I send Nintendo emails all the time because I love that company and they have such gold. And when they make dumb decisions, I constantly
Like
why?
not making another Earthbound.
Not making another Earthbound, giving us Metroid, whatever that was that nobody wanted.
The Defender Force or whatever.
What was that? You have the franchise Metroid, and you're like, let's give them this shit. Nobody wanted it.
No soccer in it.
Yeah, come on. That's the equivalent of to me that was Dr. Mario all over again. Okay, I don't want a Dr. Mario. I want a Mario game.
I can understand that.
So at least do what Sega did when you try to sneak pinball on us through Sonic and made it kind of an adventure game with pinball elements to it.
I can understand that. I can also understand, I just really think what Nintendo needs to do at this E3, and it probably would fix a lot of the problems right now. Say the GameCube library and Virtual Console are available.
And another, no virtual console is ridiculous.
I hate when I go to the store, I see the same games still. I'm like,
Not only do you see the same games, you see the same damn games I could get on PS4.
yeah.
What? I could get this game on this system?
Well, Snake Pass I thought was only for the Switch, and then I got on my PS4 and I was like, oh, it's on
Yeah.
here. Okay. It's so hard to justify buying a game for my Switch that's also on, Lego City Undercover. I actually have been considering picking it up, but I was like, I might as well get on my PS4. Sure, I could take it on the go, but when I did take my Switch on the go, I never really played it. Because if I brought it to a social place, like your house or something, if you weren't playing a game, but I was like, I want to play a game, people looked at me like, oh, you're going to play your Switch instead of hanging out with us?
Yeah, jerk.
Yeah. Or if I bring it to work, it's like, all right, I get to play for an hour. What the hell am I really going to accomplish in an hour? So.
Yeah, well, same thing. I work in an office, and hopefully my boss doesn't listen to this. I don't always have work for, the whole time.
What was that? Those.
You damn duck! Get out of here, man! We're working. God. Even though, the same thing. I might have an hour free time at work or two. I'm being nice, and my boss might listen to this. But there's no way I'd ever bring my Switch because I'm not going to get anything done there, or I'm not going to get anything accomplished in the game because it's not enough time because there's still console games on it. All right, man. We've talked enough. Think it's time to end this journey?
I think it's time to end this journey. I think we made it to Mordor.
Yes. This was episode 22 with The Enthusiast. Still one of your hosts, Justin Nazario, with
Will Zabo.
Don't forget to follow us on SoundCloud, Twitter, Facebook,
YouTube. And now Twitch.
All right. Once again, we're still uploading videos. Mr. Zabo put another one out of him playing Outlast. It's really weird, but really good. I do recommend it. You guys have any comments, please leave them below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that likes button. Once again, YouTube is trying to work on it. Thumbs down is still broken. It is weird.
Yeah, we keep asking them.
Fix
it.
Help.
We need to know if people don't like our stuff.
Yeah, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And if you don't like it, hit that thumbs up. Once again, any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. You can send us a message directly on Facebook.
Or you can email us too.
Absolutely. One of us will get back to you. Most likely, Mr. Will Zabo over here. So, I love you, man. Heart and soul into this podcast.
Thanks. But, yeah, that's the episode.
That's the episode. Peace.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yes, good. Now you're getting it.